Hello, TCI family. It's a Saturday. You never have me coming to you on Saturday, but real quick, if you peek down and look way down that mountain, about 1,000 feet down, that's the highway. And of course, you can look across and see the beautiful snow-capped mountains. Might be hard to see because of the glare of the sun. So I'm going to turn it so you don't see the glare of the sun. And if you look up right there, that's the Haybrook Lookout Tower. Most of you know I climb this every week. It only takes about an hour to get up, and sometimes a little less. But I took a group of our guys here today, Tiny and Papa Smurf over there in the corner with the blue hair. He said, I'm not Papa Smurf. Anyways, the reason we are going to do this short message here is really because of this. Because the rock that you see right there and the straight drop that it kind of goes down. When you first come down this hill behind me and you track down here, this is where it turns. Now, had I not known that this is where it turns, the last time I climbed this in the dark, I did it blindfolded at night, so that a friend of mine who was losing his eyesight and had gone almost completely blind, I wanted him to know you can accomplish anything. Now, that's easy to say, right? I have lost my eyesight once in a car accident, but it was only for 6 days, but those were terrifying 6 days. So I was thinking to myself, you know, it's easy to say you can do anything even if you lose your sight. Well, how about you blindfold yourself and show them how easy it is? And guess what? I still made it up and down this mountain. All I had to use was, and I'm going to grab them and show you, my sticks. I had the pack I have on, all my gear in there. I had the people that knew where I was and check-in times in case something happened. They would know where to come and find me. And here's the interesting thing. I had to use these sticks, as you can hear, in front of me to see where I'm stepping. And I had to have somebody who was an expert that knew this place to teach me where the roads are. Now I have that, a very good friend and one of my buddies, Brian, and he showed me how to get up here and showed me the paths. So I was mentored by somebody who knows this path. And that's the message for the day. Why do I always talk about having a mentor? Because here's the deal. If you didn't know that coming down blindfolded, and you didn't know that this had to turn at about 25 yards and go right or head west, you would have just kept walking and just walked right off the cliff and on down you went. Okay? Well, guess what? Life's the same way, folks. If you don't know that while you're married, you shouldn't go out and have a girlfriend, you're going to find out real quick. That ends all bad. But if you have a mentor that tells you, look, man, that's not what you do. And if you're a businessman and you're just going in and spending money in your accounts and not keeping any records and not tracking where it's going, you're in trouble at the end of the year because you got to do your taxes and you got to have your books all in order. And so if you are in that business, you got to take care of it. And you need a mentor to teach you how to do that. And so mentors are so critical in life because if we don't have mentors, we are literally going to walk off cliffs. I have mentors for relationships, marital mentors. I have business mentors. I have specific business mentors. I have a mentor just for taking over a company. So if I'm going to take over a company with my firm buying that firm, I go to this specific person who is an expert in that. He's literally a billionaire, and that's what he did for a living on Wall Street. So there's nobody better to learn from. And if he tells me to go right, and everyone says, if you go right, you're going to die, trust me, I'm going right because he's the expert. And I have trusted him and never has he let me down. Same thing in marriage counseling, in financial counseling. When it comes to personal coaching, I had the pleasure of working with Tony Robbins. And Tony taught me so much. To this day, I can hear Tony sometimes in my head as I'm speaking to others because I had him mentor me so that I wouldn't walk off that cliff and fall down there. And it's interesting, you know, the guys, as we were walking up, we're talking and we're talking about stories and families and life as we do. You know, we have a group and we take ourselves up these mountains to train for big mountains. Like in about 85 days, we're going to be climbing Mount Adams. That's a 12,500 foot mountain. That's a huge volcano. It's the second tallest mountain volcano in Washington. So we're looking forward to that, but to do that, you have to train. And to train, you got to know what to train for. So we literally have 2 guides for the last year that have been teaching us and training us. They got us up to the mountain at Mount St. Helens, and literally in May we're doing Mount Adams, and then in June we're doing Mount Hood, and then in August or September we're doing Mount Baker. And so we have specific goals, and then in between each of those we have certain trails that we have to hike for training for that mountain specifically. So I want to encourage you guys to make sure you're connecting with us at TCI. If you've got a situation, someone called last week and said, hey, I've been married for 20 years. I'm really having some issues in my marriage. Well, I've got some of the best marriage counselors you're ever going to have. One of them, they're very old, and they've been married for almost, going on 60 years. And so great wisdom comes from this couple. If you need a mentor, look, we're not going to tell you we're going to mentor you in everything. No, we find the best people and connect you with those. And that's one of the things our church has a great time at doing. So we love you guys. And as you're out here on the trails, please make sure you're kind and courteous to your fellow hikers. But in life, be kind and courteous to our fellow man. I find that often we don't do that. And I'm going to fillet myself right now in front of you. I do not like people when I drive. When I drive on the freeway, there should be a big parade in front of me that says, "Part the road, revs coming through." At least that's how I think in my head, right? But I really don't. I had anger issues in my vehicle for years. I literally probably had over 24 times that I have followed people home that were getting violent on the road. And I wanted to show them that there are more violent people than you out there. And so I would smash their window, grab them out of their car, and beat them up. And that's a common occurrence for me 30 years ago. Now, here's the thing. That's not me anymore. But I still struggle in the car to not want to, think those thoughts. I don't do it anymore. I'm 47 this year. But I still think that thought, boy, that guy needs to be dragged out of his car and get a nice little whooping on him. But that's when I got to stop, pause, and kind of do like right now. Enjoy the moment. So let's enjoy our moments as we're out there, but let's make sure we're being kind to our fellow man, and let's make sure we're also listening to our mentors so we don't walk off the cliffs. Because if you just walk off the cliff and you got no mentor to show you there's a cliff there, you're going to take a dive. And so as we're kind to our fellow man and as we're kind through life, make sure you're kind and listening to your mentors, because mentors are going to tell you the right way and the wrong way. And if you think you know better, well, keep walking in the dark and see how fast it takes for you to fall off the cliff. Okay? I love you guys. God loves you. You know the drill. Live positive.